Thank you, Geraint, for the overwhelming introduction. I think after this it will be very difficult not to disappoint you, but I'll do my best. First, of course, I would like to express my gratitude towards the City University of Hong Kong for inviting me here. I know this university is quite quickly advancing on the rankings. We are all obsessed with rankings nowadays, and this is one of those going upwards fastly. Well, I'm also happy to come to Hong Kong and see this very advanced mixture of a very dynamic and at the same time very friendly society. Now, turning quickly to the theme, I have many things I thought I'd say to you, so I go quickly into the theme I would want to talk to. I would start by setting the scene and looking at the market, at something basically regulated. In policy discussions concerning the regulation of markets, one often finds the debate phrased as one of these both concepts being opposites to each other. The theme is often described as market versus regulation. But I think describing the issue like this is misleading. There is no such thing as an unregulated market. The market is based on rules, according to which the market activities receive legal meaning and legal protection and become enforceable. Without such rules, the participants in the game would act in a jungle without much resemblance to a functioning market. So instead of discussing regulation versus market, one should discuss proper regulation of the market and regulation. And you might wonder about the picture. I like the because I'm a great soccer fan, even though Finland does never really succeed in this area, which is the great sorrow of my life. But sometime it will happen. If I use that metaphor, I think the market can be compared to a game of soccer or some other similar game, of course. There can be somewhat different rules. There can be various behaviors of the referee. In some versions, one may get the yellow card for relatively minor offences, whilst other versions may allow much rougher play. The level of regulation may, in other words, vary, but there has to be regulation. Without rules, the game would not be a game of soccer at all. And the same goes for the market. And why I am saying this? I am saying this here because the same misleading antithesis often appears in discussions on contract law as well, here in the form of freedom of contract versus regulation. Again, I think there's no such thing as an unregulated freedom of contract. One cannot speak about contract and contract law without having rules determining when an act can be deemed an enforceable contract. And these rules invariably have to refer also to issues that require assessment of the behavior of the parties and the content of the alleged contract. Did the party use any improper force, exert undue influence, behave fraudulently, or commit usury? A line has always to be drawn. The question is, again, just where to draw the line properly. And this is what I will be talking about today, on where to draw the line, and whether the concept of unfairness, the concept of unfair contract terms, is useful in helping to draw this line. And I think this approach is useful because the ways of dealing with unfair contract terms regulation often quite directly reflects the basic understandings of contract and contract law in the jurisdiction in question. The soccer game played on different markets in different jurisdictions is basically the same, but the referees may have quite different perceptions of the philosophy according to which the yellow card should be used.